Gonna do a review now. First ever Sardonic Pickle review was on another James Bond game called From Russia with Love. It was based on the movie called From Russia with Love, starring Sean Connery. In the game too, except it was good. Check out that video, check out that review, if you know what's good for you. I'm not threatening you, I can't in any way, but do it. I'll probably put a little icon on your screen here, but make sure you watch this review before you go back and watch that review. But seriously, watch it. When that review was released, YouTube changed forever, so I'm sorry about that. Seriously, that was a good game. That was a good game. It was a little bit jetpack heavy, a little bit too many jetpacks. So they thought, you know what, we've made a shit game, so we're gonna make James Bond on the Game Boy. Even though From Russia with Love came after James Bond on the Game Boy. So this makes no sense, I'm full of shit. So they did make James Bond on the Game Boy. It's called James Bond. There's no subtitle, it's just James Bond. It's the original story starring our favorite spy. Our favorite horny spy. And yeah, so he has to take down this weapon smuggler who loves the world and loves domination too. So merging the two passions, he decides to dominate the world. And James Bond doesn't want that, because James Bond wants the world for himself so everybody can have sex in tuxedos. Stop smuggling weapons, no! Or however you say no in Russian. You can't really say no in Russian, can you? Because communism. Each level takes place in a different part of the world. The game starts you off in China. In this version of James Bond has a bit of a masturbation problem. He can't help himself. Walking and wanking, that's all he does. He wanks while he walks, he's efficient. So in this China level at the end, you steal some plans to smuggle weapons, and then you fight this Chinese lady, and it's kind of weird because James Bond's, you know, he's not averse to hitting women, but it's more like a slap if he needs information. So that's alright. In this one, he fights her, like, it's quite brutal for an 8-bit fight. I mean, anyway, he knocks her out and then he leaves, as something Bill Cosby could have done, but he chose not to. We'll see if I keep that one in. Anyway, you win the fight, and later on, Zhong Mei, that's the name of the lady you beat up, she decides to become the Bond girl. So, the game, the buttons you use are usually the A and B buttons, because they're the only two on the Game Boy. It's about like Zelda, you assign certain moves and weapons or items on these buttons. Each level's like a puzzle in itself, where you basically go around to NPCs, see what they want, what item they want, give it to them, and then you progress. It's pretty exciting stuff, if I might say so myself. It's not exciting at all, but it's fun. Yeah, it's fun. I forgot to show you the cartridge of the game at the beginning of the review. This is it. Structure. It's important. If you want to be a professional YouTuber like me, follow my advice. Alright. Some of the levels are very maze-like, which I hate. I hate mazing levels, mazes. I like amazing things. I like amazing levels, but I hate mazy levels. There's a difference. If you're a game developer watching and you put mazes in your levels as a challenge for your player, I have no time for you. Thanks for watching, but stupid dupe, checking I'm actually recording. Good. That's happened before. There's a gadget you actually pick up, eventually you pick up, called a map. I tried to use this map, but this is all I got. This is what the map is. I had no idea how to use it. So at the beginning of the game, you like every James Bond movie, basically, you get a briefing from your boss M, then you go off to the Q branch, and Q gives you a briefing on all the gadgets you'll be using in the game, or in the movie if you're watching a movie. And yeah, I wish more modern day James Bond games could allow you to explore MI6 like this game did. What was the last modern game we got anyway of James Bond? Oh yeah. So, combat. Let's talk about that. You could either punch enemies, you assign punch to one button, either the A or B button, or block to a button. So you can either punch or block. And it's basically you wait for them to punch, and you block them, and then you punch, sort of stuff. But yeah, it was alright. In this game, James Bond, you eventually find a machete. Yeah, that's right, a machete, which is kind of a ridiculous image. Imagining James Bond walking around a Russian base wielding what is essentially a gardening instrument. That's funny, and it's useful. I enjoyed using the machete. I probably use it out of all the other weapons. It's easier to use than a gun. You just run up to them and slash them to pieces. Which is odd. In movies, he's like knocking them out, or just trying to sneak past them. But games, you just like kill as many people as possible. That's the James Bond way. So, if you don't know your James Bond, Oddjob is a henchman that throws hats in Goldfinger, the movie Goldfinger. And he appeared only in that movie, and he died in the movie. Spoilers. And Jaws appeared in Spy Who Loved Me and Moonraker. And he's the guy with the metal teeth, and he bites everything like a shark. Thus, Jaws. But he didn't die. He lives in both movies. But in this game, they both appear in the game in the same story, which doesn't make sense. And the James Bond nerd in me gets very angry. Excuse me, developers, whatever your names were. What the fuck was the name? Yay, Eurocom, whatever. I'll just say Eurocom. Excuse me, Eurocom. Why do you have to put Jaws and Oddjob in the same game? You have a lot to answer for. They'll get back to me. A little bit to go. Some say, Dave, when you do these reviews, you shouldn't be reading off the paper. You look unprofessional. You look stupid. Yeah, does Angry Video Game Nerd read off paper? No, he memorizes his lines. He memorizes others' reviews. So does everyone. Oh! Boom! Bang, bang! I'm a motorbike now. For a cheap Gameboy game based on our James Bond universe, it's pretty fun. I can't remember how much this, I just remembered. $10. $10 this cost me. 10 Australian dollars, which is probably like $1 million American dollars. So, yeah, get your economy straight. Australia, get your shit together, right? Stop. The gun combat is a bit janky, and Bond is a bit wanky. Midas level's a bit tanky. Give the woman a spanky. Yeah, it's good. Try it. Try the game out. You try reviewing a game. You try it. Give it a go. Cheers, thank you. I never know how to finish these things. So I'm just sitting here, looking at the camera.